What if anger, when understood and redirected, could become the starting point for personal growth, stronger families, and healthier communities? Today's guest has built a life's work around transforming challenges into purpose and helping others do the same. On this episode of the Pauline Chilton Show, I'm joined by Dr. Stewart P. McClain, certified anger management specialist, acclaimed author, entrepreneur, nonprofit founder, and inspirational speaker for over 2 decades. Dr. McClain has spent years teaching emotional and anger management through his Change Foundation Emotional Anger Management Program, where he has worked with groups of 25 to 30 participants, including court-mandated clients, parents, and individuals simply seeking better tools for life. His mission? To equip people with real techniques to manage emotions, strengthen relationships, and grow in personal development. Beyond his classes, Dr. McClain is the author of multiple books, the founder of All, a nonprofit dedicated to uniting communities and supporting families, and an entrepreneur who believes every new venture, whether it's a thrift store, a podcast, or a YouTube channel for kids, carries its own identity and purpose. From motivational speaking to inspiring positive music for children, his work spans generations and platforms. Today, we'll dive into his story, his passion, and the powerful lessons he's teaching about anger, resilience, and purpose-driven living. Hi, Dr. McClain. It's so good to have you today.
Hey, Pauline, grateful to be here. Thank you very much for the invite. I appreciate it.
Good. It's good to see you. Okay, let's start with anger management. Dr. McClain, your Change Foundation anger management program has helped so many people, from parents to court-mandated participants. What first inspired you to focus your life's work on this area?
Really, what touched me and just really had me to be able to focus on anger management. When I was younger, I had anger issues and anger problems, but I didn't realize at times that I was kind of misunderstood. And I really didn't understand, too, that my parents didn't understand the entrepreneur in me. You know, they didn't understand I was a rebellious child because really I just have the entrepreneur spirit. Most entrepreneurs have that in them. You know, they have that kind of, I want to do things my way. And it just made me like angry because I felt like a misfit and I just felt misunderstood by the society, by people, by teachers, by everybody, you know. And I realized that a lot of times people either have trauma or they just are misunderstood. And that's what causes them to begin to be angry and frustrated. So I was like, it's time to be able to start something to be able to help people to get over and through their anger. Because anger is a good emotion. You can use it for good or you can use it for bad. It's up to you how you use it because it's nothing but energy. So that's what made me start the organization and the program to be able to help people to have emotional control.
Very good. In your classes, I'm sure you've seen people from all walks of life, some there voluntarily, others required to attend. Can you share a story about how someone's perspective on anger completely changed during your...
Yes, I remember someone, they were having a confrontation with their wife, and they were saying that their wife is always mad because they don't make up the bed and they don't, do certain things around the house. So they were upset. They was mad at their wife too because their wife was asking them to do that. And they like, why I have to do that? Why I have to make up the bed all the time? Why? But I was teaching about on that day about how I make up my bed. It's crazy. And I was saying that I was angry before a time in my life that I had to make up the bed. And I realized that making up the bed is simple, and also it's a discipline that helps your life. If you can't make up your bed in the morning, how is your life? Your life is probably chaotic. because you can't even do the simple things. And the simple thing to do is to make up a place where you just laid. That's easy. So, and also that's discipline. So I was teaching that class and stuff, and then he came back the next week. He was like, man, I decided to make up my bed. I decided to make up my bed, man. And after I made up my bed, me and my wife, we haven't argued about anything because that's all she wanted. Just me to make up my bed. He did it, and everything was resolved. The anger, the frustration, that they was taking out on each other. All he had to do was one simple thing, and he learned. He just didn't learn, but he took what he learned and he applied it. A lot of people can learn, but do they apply what they learn?
That's very good. So you had a chance to see how someone learned something in your class and was able to apply it to their life and actually improve their relationship. That's wonderful.
Yes.
You've been writing and publishing for over a decade. What role have your books played in reaching people beyond the classroom? And what message do you hope readers take away?
Well, my books, I believe, are very inspiring and inspirational, especially my book, Anger Management Tools for Parents, because there's no manual out here, no manual to really teaching you how to raise kids. So we learn by either our parents, grandparents, uncles, and sometimes their ways are not even good, So I put some principles in there that was able to help people to be able to become better parents. I have one thing to having your kids to be able to tidy their rooms up. You give them 30 minutes to tidy their rooms up. If they don't tidy the room up, then they still want to get things taken, but also they still have to clean their room, but you're giving them time to be able to do it. I have a book called The Art of Discipline, No Direction. If you don't have any discipline, you definitely don't have any direction, because discipline and direction, they're one. I have another one called Think Your Way Happy. Your thoughts create your reality. So you can think your way happy or you can think your way sad. It's up to you. But a negative and a positive thought can't live in the same house.
And I like the way you say that, think your way happy, because there's a lot of talk about mindset, right? But what does mindset actually mean? But the way you say it is your thoughts. Your thoughts become things. Your thoughts have to do with how you end up feeling, right? So you could feel a certain way for a short amount of time, or you could sit in that feeling for a long time, but that's because you're just reliving those thoughts or those emotions or whatever, and you're just perpetuating that in your mind, right?
Yes, that's correct. That's correct. Because a person is living there. A hoarder can live in a house full of chaos, or you can live in a house of peace. It's just based on where you want to live and what you want to live in, So, and that's how your mind works. Are you living there in depression? Are you living there in anxiety? Are you living there in lack? Are you living there? Or are you living in prosperity? You living in wholeness? You living in abundance? Where are you living?
That's great.
Yeah.
So tell us about your nonprofit, All Hoods Unite.
We've been running it for 5 years. It's very amazing. We have 2 pillars: community outreach and food service. So we provide food to organizations through Longhorn Steakhouse. We used to be partnered with Starbucks also, but Starbucks went another way. So now we just partner with Longhorn Steakhouse. And last year we gave away like 10,000 meals, 1,000 toys through Toys for Tots, and 40 Thanksgiving baskets through the Knights of Columbus. So we always like doing different events and different community things. Our main thing is food, because here in St. Louis, the poverty rate is 19.6%. So 1 in every 5 person is impoverished. Even though we don't really do food for individuals, we do organizations, but it still makes an impact, because some organizations, they need that food to be able to help them meet the need. Because, most organizations spend a lot of money on food, especially like organizations that we serve. So.
So, what inspired your nonprofit? Is it because of the high poverty rate and the need in the community?
Well, really what inspired my nonprofit, I always been in the nonprofit work. I love just helping people since I was younger, about 18, 19. I started just volunteering at different places, different nonprofits, churches, and everything. So it's always been in me. But at first, I just kind of was tired of people and helping people. You know, you can get burned out of just helping people and just doing for others. Really, a cousin came to me and he was like, "Hey, do you want to start a nonprofit organization?" And I'm like, "Nah, not really." I said, "I'm focused on something else." And he was like, "I think you're going to be a phenomenal leader. You are an amazing leader. And I think you need to begin to do this with me." So we started it. We sketched out everything and put it all together and started All Hoods Unite. He came up with the name and we went from there, even though we kind of went our own ways because of situations. But he was like, I'm still running the organization in the midst of it, So I've been running it for 5 years, and yeah, it's very, very exciting. But that's where it came from. But I was not willing to do it because I was like, I've been through a lot in my life with nonprofit and just dealing with people. And people, they'll do a lot to you. They'll hurt you, backstab you. They'll lie on you, everything. And it just makes you don't want to help people anymore. But all the lives we have changed, just like I was thinking about when a lady we gave a turkey to was crying in her vehicle because she didn't have a turkey for Thanksgiving. And she was crying so bad because she was so thankful that we were able to meet the need. Stories like that are life changing.
That's right. That's good.
Make you want to do the work.
So, in one of our previous conversations, we talked about entrepreneurship being like birthing something with its own identity. How did your venture from your online thrift store to your motivational speaking reflect that philosophy?
Because I birthed it. I birthed being able to empower people. When you speak, your words are powerful. Life and death is really in the tongue because when you speak, you create. You create things. Think about it. Everything that was created was spoken by somebody. And now we are taking part of what was spoken. So my inspirational speaking, the nonprofit is helping people. It was spoken and it became reality. So it was all birth. I gave birth to things that were inside of me because the world and society needed it. It needed what was in me and I had to release it. If you were in the wilderness and your gas tank is low, you're going to go to a gas station. You don't even care who name on the gas station. You just need gas. And that's how it is with vision. People need your gas to fill up their tanks.
That's very good. And so, along with your work with adults, you've also created positive kids songs on YouTube.
Yes.
Why was it so important for you to invest in inspiring children through music?
Yeah, so I love inspiring kids songs because music reaches generations of people, no matter what their religion is, their color is, anything. Like music changed lives and kids love music, and also music goes through your frontal lobe. So it goes through your prefrontal cortex. So it just goes like straight through it. Think about when you're in the store, right? You're grocery shopping, your favorite song comes on. You don't even think about that your favorite song came on. But when it come on, what happens? You start singing it. You're dancing, you're feeling good, because it just went through your prefrontal cortex. And now your dopamine has been released in your brain from that song because it brought back pretty good memories. And that's what kids, when you reach a generation with music and positive music at an early age, as they get older, that's what they're going to hold on to because I'm already grooming them to be great. I have a song on there called I Am a Champion. See me soar. I'll keep on fighting more and more. No mountains too high or no valleys too low. Why? Because I am a champion. So it's inspirational, and I want them to know that they can do anything in this life. They can be anything in this life, and music is so powerful. It changes society and it changes lives.
That's awesome. I grew up on the south side of Chicago, and one of my best memories was going to the skating rink and roller skating to James Brown songs. And one of the things that I
Wow.
loved about James Brown songs was that he spoke about pride in who you are and where you're from. And that meant something. That meant something, I
Yes.
believe, to a whole couple of generations that were inspired by James Brown.
Yes. Yes. Still to this day.
hmm
Yes. Yes.
Between your speaking, teaching, nonprofit work, and content for kids, you're pouring into many different audiences. When when you think about legacy, what impact do you most hope to leave behind?
When I think about legacy, the impact that I love to leave behind is a game changer. That I'm a person and that walked the earth who changed the game. I didn't just play the game. I didn't just settle with the game, but I changed the whole script of the game. So that's what I would love my legacy to be, a game changer. That I
Awesome.
changing my family dynamics, changing other people's family dynamics, changing the script of the script that we know. The picket white fence, you go to school, everything gonna be great. You're gonna have the perfect family and the perfect kids and the perfect dog and that ain't how life works. But you can make the script work for you to make it at least close to that. Right.
Okay. So if anybody wants to get a hold of you, where can they find you?
They can find me on social media. They can find me on Instagram, Boss Life Stewart. They can find me on LinkedIn, Stewart McClain, Dr. Stewart McClain. They can find me on Facebook, Dr. Stewart McClain, and also on my website, www.stewartmcclain.com. And that'll take you to the All Hoods one too, also. So www.allhoodsunite.com.
Dr. Stewart P. McClain's passion for helping people transform anger into growth, purpose, and healthier relationships is truly inspiring. From his Change Foundation anger management program to his nonprofit All Hoods Unite, his books, speaking, and even his positive kids songs, Dr. McClain is showing us that real change begins with awareness and is sustained through action. If today's conversation resonated with you, I encourage you to connect with Dr. McClain online. Visit stewartmcclain.com to explore his books, workshops, and programs. Learn about his nonprofit work at allhoodsunite.com, where you can also make a donation or support the mission. And don't forget to check out his Motivational Moment podcast and his YouTube channel, Inspiring Kids Songs, for even more uplifting content. And as always, I'd love you to support the Pauline Chilton Show. Subscribe on YouTube or listen on Apple, Spotify, or your favorite podcast platform. You can also support the show through the affiliate links in the description for Adobe and Descript, the very tools we use to produce these episodes. Until next time, keep growing, keep showing up, and remember, you have the power to transform your emotions into purpose.